Hello, this is me, Prajwal, and this is my LeetCode profile. There are 28 solved questions in almost like 3 years on this profile, and most of them which I don't remember how I solved. But every other company which I want to join has requirements such as strong problem solving skills or proficiency in data structures and algorithm. So here's the challenge to me and you that in the next ongoing months, we are going to solve hundreds of data structures and algorithms questions. We are not just going to solve them by mugging them up. We are going to have a strong understanding of the underlying concepts, and we are going to be confident enough that we are able to sit any sit in any technical interview and crack it. The series which I am starting with this is going to be named Zero to Hired DSA Decoded, and my motivation behind this name is because I'm almost starting from zero and my goal is to be hired by a company which excites me. So let's get started. Here's what makes this different from any other coding challenge that is on the internet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be tracking everything publicly. I'm going to putting my lead code and the take you forward website which I am using for solving the Striver sheet under my video description, and you can view all the problems I have solved, the time I have spent on them, the breakthrough moments I had during my coding, also my emotional state which made me want to throw my laptop out of the window because I had problem solving some questions. So you will see my actual thought process and dead ends, the wrong assumptions, and how I start to learn the pattern recognition by solving more number of questions about certain topics. So this is the journey which I am going on, and I want you to be a part of it. So let's get started. So for some of the starting days, what we are going to do is that we are going to revise a bit of concepts I learned before my NSEM exams, as there were exams going on. So I had not had an opportunity to give time to the DSA. So I think I should revise the concepts before starting the real problem solving. So actually, I use one notebook to write everything down. I have notes like on different topics. I don't know if you can see. I will just read out to there. So there is basic CPP patterns, then there is STL, maths, recursion, and hashing. So as you can see, uh, here I have opened the takeyouforward.org, which is the Strivers website for Striver sheet. And here, as you can see, like I have made a little bit of progress, that is 7%. So this progress was made by me before my exams, and I'm starting from here on. So first, for some of the beginning days, what we are going to do is we are going to revise these concepts, so we would not have problems solving the actual questions. So what should we revise today? So for revising today, what we are going to do is that I would like to try some pattern questions, and I have these notes which I just said that I had made in the notebook. I had made a PDF for it. So for the patterns, there is some notes I have written, like the outer loop suggests it is used to print rows, and the inner loop suggests it is used to print columns. So there are these four steps. That is, for outer loop, you have to count the number of rows. The number of rows is equal to the number of times the outer loop should run. For inner loop, you have to focus on how the columns are printed, and we have to connect the number of columns to the number of rows in some kind of logic. And the last third thing is that we have to print the star or number or whatever the thing is that need to be printed in the pattern. And there is a last optional part which is for the symmetry type of questions like that pyramid and all. So I think we should try some pattern questions. For the pattern questions, like we can go to here, and this is the practice link for these patterns. So we should start with this pattern. Okay, so there is code already here. I can just erase it. I think I had solved it before, so it was there. So what we have to print is that we have to print 1 star in the first line, 2 stars in the second line, 3 stars in the third line, like that. As I just said that what we have to do, the number of times we have to run the outer loop is the number of times we need the rows. So here are n rows, so we have to run the outer loop for n times. So I will use for int I is equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. So this is that. Now what we have to do is we have to relate how the columns are printed with how the rows are. So as we can see in the first row, I is equal to 1, we have to print 1 star. In the second row, we have to print 2 star. In third row, are you understanding what I'm saying? So what we are going to do is that we are going to print that number of columns as that number of there are rows. So let's do that. For int I equal to, what we are going to do is we are going to I equal to j, and then we have to print till sorry, we have to print I equal to 1 and j. I have made a very silly mistake here. I have done the initialization of I again. Instead, I should do the initialization of j here, and then j should be less than equal to I. So when I is equal to 1, then it will go in the inner loop, and j is equal to 1. So j is equal to I. So this condition will be valid for the first loop. Then it will be printed for 1. When j becomes 2, it will be invalid, so it will be not printed again. For the second outer loop, the j will be printed for 2 times. Let's see if that works. That was my logic. So what we have to print star. So we don't write print, we write cout, and we write star. And I think there is need of space, so I'm writing that. And after each of the time the inner loop runs, we have to run a command which is the cout of endl, which gives a new line. So let's see if this runs. Okay, so what is it saying? That is expected prime. Okay, so I have written here comma, instead I have to use semicolon. Silly mistake. Okay, so the sample test case have run. Let's submit this. Yeah, so it is passed. So that was a pattern question. So for the next question, let's do this reverse triangle of numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this question, okay, huh. So what we have to do is in the first line itself, we have to print 3. The outer loop part is easy, that we have to run the outer loop n number of times. So we'll just do that first. For int I equal to 1, I less than n, less than equal to n, as we are starting from 1, I plus plus, not equal to I plus plus. Okay, so what are we are going to do now? The first line I is equal to 1 needs 3 times the count, and as we have said that inner loop prints the columns. So if the inner loop what we call variable is j, if we print the variable would be incrementing 1, 2, 3 like this in the loop. So instead of printing the star, we are going to print the variable. But how should I print the variable so that it becomes that in the I equal to 1 it is equal to 3 times, in I equal to 2 equal to 2 times, I equal to 1 equal to I equal to 3 equal to 1 times. So what we will do is just I will int j equal to 1, and we will print j till j is less than n. For example, the n is 3, 3 minus I times less than equal to n minus I times. And here we will do j plus plus this, and then we have to print the j. So see out print j, and then semicolon, and a see out endl for new line of the columns are printed. So let's run this. Okay, so the test case has gone wrong. What is the thing that has gone wrong? Okay, so in the first part we did not start from 1 to 3. So the first inner loop ran for only 2 times, j equal to 1. Then 3 minus I, that is 2. Okay, so here we have to do a plus 1. So now this becomes value becomes 3, and the inner loop runs till 3. Then when I increases by 1, the value will also decrease by 1. Then it will run for 2. I think it must run now. Yeah, it did not run. Ah, it did not run because there needed to be a white space. I thought I had the wrong logic again. So this would be it. Yes. Yes. I don't think this matters. You are better than 99 when we are using O of n square time complexity. So that was that question. Now let's do the question number 7, which is a symmetric vertical triangle. And I remember that I had a hard time solving this. So first thing first, as always, the outer loop runs for n times. So int I equal to 1 to I less than equal to n I plus plus. This is done. We will also write the cout and the line because it is going to be there. Now for this symmetric type of question, what is the problem in this with not problem, difference with respect to the other questions I just solved? The difference is that the this thing has a white space before the pattern and after the pattern. So what we are going to do is that uh, we are going to need 3 loops which are going to be inner loops. And what are these 3 loops going to print? These 3 loops are going to print the white space, the star pattern, the white space, star pattern, white space. So what we are going to do is that I will just create 3 for loops. I will write the insides of it later. Mm, And this one is the last one. So curly braces I have to use here. So I will use curly braces. Okay. So let's use int j equal to 1. And for the first line, how we are doing this? In the first line, we have to print. So let us understand. I will write some comments here. I think I will need a different kind of comment here. Okay, so shift enter, shift enter. So assume this is first line. We are, and I am using 0 as a white space. So 0, and the last line has 5 elements. And the n value is 3. So and this is 5, and oh sorry. Assume that 0 is our star, not white space, and 1 is our white space. So it is going to be 0 0 0 1. Okay, and then it is going to be 1 1 1 0 1 1. So in the first part, hmm, as we can see in the line 1, we have 1 2 white spaces, then 1 star, then 2 white spaces. In the second line, we have 1 white space, 3 the stars, and 1 again white space, and in here we have 0 white space, 5 stars, and 0 white space. So all of this add to 5 in the lines. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to here we are going to print star white space. So we are going to print a white space here. This is white space. Here we are going to print a star. Here we are going to print a white space. Okay, and everything is going to be int j equal to this and j plus plus. Just we have to find out what condition we have to stop printing. That is the main thing here. Otherwise everything is same. J equal to 1, j plus plus, till what we have to print. So for first line we have to print the void space 2 times. Another thing I just thought that there are same number of white spaces in each row. So the condition here and here will be same. Okay, so what we are going to do is that for line 1 we are having 2 white spaces. For line 2 we are having 1, and our n value is, what is it? It is 3. So what we will do is that we can say that n minus I, is it valid? Let me think about it. For example, that n is 3 and I is equal to 1. So the minus 1, it will be print 2 times. When n becomes 1, it will be, sorry, n will remain 3 and I becomes 2. Then the whole thing will be 1 and it will be printed for 1. Yeah, I think that is correct. We have to then repeat it here also. And for here, we have to print, for first we have to print same. So we have to print 1 for 1, then 2 we have to print 3, then for 3 we have to print 5. So like we have to find the relation. How is that relation working here? That if we do, yeah, I got it. If we multiply the no, let me think for a second. If we multiply the row number by 2, what will be it? Mm, this is kind of a real struggle what we are here to see. Okay, so let me think for some minutes. I will fast forward this part if I take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but let me think. So we have to print 1 for 1, we have to print for 2, we have to print 3. Okay, so 1 into 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 into 2, that is 4 minus 1 is 3, and 3. Okay, so the row number into 2 minus 1 we have to do. What is the row number? Row number is the I. I is the row number. I into 2 minus 1. That is, I think, I did not need to fast forward for much time. Oh my, time limit exceeded. Okay, so how should I solve about the time limit exceeded problem? It is saying that time limit is 1 second and the constraint is 20. Okay, so I think there is some kind of error in printing which is causing it to run for a very long time. Okay, so what would that be? Let me think. Mm, 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 mm. Why is it printing on a single line? It is showing that it is running this loop in infinite fashion because I have not written here that we have to make it less than equal to j. This kind of silly mistakes we encounter because this loop runs for infinite time. Yeah, I think it will pass all the test cases and it will not cause any problems. Yes, nice, nice. So that was another question. For the last part, just let's do another question. I think the question number 15 looks good. Let's just do 14. So for this question, what is the thing that we have to print not stars, not numbers. We have to print alphabets, capital alphabets. And this is a concept related to the ASCII characters. If you know what I mean, like what is that in all the English characters, whether it be symbols or ABCD, small or capital, have a number associated with them. So I think I have written about it. Maybe I have written, or maybe I'm not. Like, uh, no, I have not written about ASCII. Like the A has some ASCII value, which we can search. Like here, A ASCII value. Okay. So uppercase A has ASCII value of 65. So what we are going to do for this question is that we have to print A, then A, B, C, A, B. Like for the number of row, we have to print that number of letters, capital letters. So as we know that the outer loop needs to run for n number of times if there are n number of rows. So I will do this I less than equal to n I plus plus. Okay. So for the next part, what we are going to do is that we are going to use another loop, and what we have to do here is the cout handle for what? For getting to the new line after each of the rows. We have to do this mandatory. Now the thing is that we have to print characters. So how are we going to print characters? In the last question where we were printing like numbers, how were we printing numbers? We were printing numbers by printing the variable of the inner loop, which was like j. We were printing the value of j. So j's value was becoming 1, 2, 3. So what we can do is that we can print the variable here also, but here variable will not be the integer, it will be the character. And what we are going to do is that we are not going to start from 1. we are going to start from A because the first letter we want to print is A. So we will say char ch is equal to, in single inverted commas, A till where we want to print. For the first line, I want to print A one time. For the second line, I want to print A and B. So A is character A and B is character A plus 1 and C is character A plus 2. So for the first line, I only want A. So what I will do is that I will print till ch is less than character of A plus I. But for the first loop, what will happen is that I is equal to 1. So it will print till, no, it will not print till that because A plus I is B and character should be less than B, not B. So it will print only A. So let's do this and see h plus plus and print the actual what with character. So C out, CH, and I think white space is needed here. So let's do this. Let's run this thing. Okay. The first time this has happened in this video that we have ran something and it has worked like a charm. Yes. So for today's part, this would be it from my side. I will be practicing some more like pattern questions. And I just have one request for you. If you want to follow this series, that is DSA Decoded from zero to hired, what you have to do is you have to subscribe to the channel and you have to start your own journey also. You can comment down your questions which you are solving and what approach you are taking for them. And you can also suggest what improvement I should make while making videos or while solving these problems. You can suggest better ways. I would be happy to respond to your queries and also to your suggestions. So that would be it from my side for day one. Please look forward to day two. I will be continuing this journey and let's get from zero to higher. Thanks.